Welcome back to the Daily Discussions. I'm your host, Professor Hawk Sensei. Alright? I want to welcome you to the dojo. The Daily Discussion Dojo, right? Today's topic of discussion: never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. Oh yeah. Now, this do sound like Art of War. And it is Art of War. But it's not Sun Tzu. It's Napoleon Bonaparte. Yes, Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte. The very short conqueror that always like to have his hand in his pocket. That guy. Yeah. That guy. He's the one that gave us that phrase, never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. Right? So this goes double. This goes as special for anybody who got ops. You know what I'm saying? And ops is just simply opposition. Anybody who's against you, anybody who's opposing you. You know what I mean? Anybody who doesn't want to see you win because they trying to win. You know what I mean? Anybody that's against you. Now, the reason why we have this phrasing, or the reason why it's a thing, is because if somebody is your enemy, if somebody made the mistake of choosing you as their enemy, oh, nah, man. You gotta let them fuck around and find out. You feel me? Don't tell them. You know what I mean? The phrase goes, never interrupt an enemy when they're making a mistake. And that's even at the very moment they choose you as an enemy. Don't tell them that was a mistake. Let them find out that it was a mistake. The reason why this is a saying is because when someone who is in opposition, who is an enemy, decides to make a move or advance, but it's ill-advised or probably not advised, and you see them stumble, fall, trip, or whatever, you're supposed to capitalize or take advantage of that mistake. That's how you win in warfare. Chess is warfare. And they talk about life being equated to chess. It is a war for survival. Yes, indeed. So you gotta play this game the right way. You will meet many oppositions on your path. But if they happen to be sentient, meaning if they happen to be a thinking opposition, someone who's alive, something that's alive, never interrupt them making their mistakes. The best example I can give you that's not utterly graphic, you know what I mean? We want to try to keep this PG-13, is when you play a fighting game. Anybody who is a fighting game enthusiast knows exactly what I'm talking about. When somebody whiffs, meaning the attack is thrown out but it doesn't connect. If you're not familiar with gaming, I will help you out. This is a whiff. If I try to punch you, right, but it doesn't connect, I maybe miss off a couple inches or whatever, that's called a whiff, right? That's called a whiff. I guess they say it because the opponent gets a whiff of what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? You're revealing your hand, so to speak. So when you get that whiff, you're supposed to punish it. Right? What's a punish? A punish is a A punish is a capitalization off of your opponent's mistake. You see this If you watch competitive Street Fighter, you watch competitive Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Dragon Ball, Fighters, Sparking Zero, whatever. Any fighting game, you will always see this scenario play out. Someone will throw out an attack. It's just a little short or a little shy. The other player will then connect with an attack or a combo, punish. They call that a whiff punish. You punish somebody for reaching, right? Usually that's what happens. Is someone overextended, someone overplayed their hand, someone revealed what they were trying to do before they had the opportunity to do it. That's the difficulty or the challenge that you face when you come across a thinking opponent, right? Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. So in life, right, when you see somebody throw out that BS, right, and it don't connect or it don't affect you or it don't phase you, don't let them know that you know that they threw that BS out. Like, let's say you dealing with a group of friends, right? And your group of friends, all of them got associates and friends that they hang out with or whatever. You happen to start dealing with this girl, right? None of your homeboys deal with her, but one of your homeboys' homeboy deal with her, right? So word get around. Now he got a problem with you. You come to find out that he has a problem with you. You hear through the grapevine that he has a problem with you, right? So what you do? You don't say nothing. People tell, yo, you know that dude said, da, da, da. Or you catch wind of it and nobody find out, that, keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. Don't overplay your hand. Chess, not checkers, right? So if you pretend to be unaware or oblivious to the situation, you may gain the advantage. Why? Because you may gain information. Information is very valuable, especially when you're in a combat and or psychological war. Any type of warfare. There's spiritual warfare, psychological warfare, mental warfare, physical warfare, biological warfare. There's a lot of different warfare. But all in all, never interrupt your enemy when they make a mistake. When they overextend. When they play their hand. When they divulge information. You know what I mean? Use that to your advantage. You never know when you'll come across some opposition. But if they give you time to prepare, take that time. This may not always be combat. This may not always be fisticuffs. You actually got to go toe-to-toe. No. It may be a mental battle. There may be somebody who's trying to take your spot, or somebody who's trying to sabotage the work you built, or somebody who's trying to get you fired. It could be anything. Any type of opposition. Don't always think that it's a combat scenario where, you got to be ready to throw the hands. You know what I mean? That's usually the last resort. You know what I mean? It's usually the last resort when you want to resort to that. But 9 times out of 10, the battles that you face will not be physical battles. You know what I mean? If it does so come to a physical battle, you know what I mean? It didn't just happen like that. You know what I mean? And if it did just happen like that, there was nothing you could do to prepare anyway. You didn't see this enemy. You know what I mean? But when it comes to combat, right? Anybody that I got into a fight with, there was always something that led up to it. It wasn't just, oh, I don't like this guy, let's fight. You know what I mean? They do that in jail, but you know what I mean? That's another story that we probably not gonna have here. Anyway, right? There's usually events or sequences that lead up to the actual altercation or confrontation or whatever, the encounter. There's usually things that lead up to it, right? And in the process of leading up to it, if you're wise, you can diffuse the situation. You can intimidate your opponent to saying, you know what, I don't think I want it with that guy. Or you can remove yourself from the situation. Depends on, where you at in life and what's going on. Because if you're in school, you can't really remove yourself from the situation unless your parents have the resources to just move. You know what I mean? 9 times that's probably not the case. So you gotta go with the other two options. You either gotta deal with the problem, you gotta diffuse the situation. You know what I mean? Or intimidate them into not wanting to deal with you. You might that may actually be fisticuffs. You know what I mean? That may be it. You know what I mean? But all in all, we talking about really the mental aspect. When you see somebody making a mistake. And a mistake could come in many different forms. Like I said earlier, it could be information. They may be talking too much, telling everybody what they plan on doing. You know what I mean? Don't react. And if anybody asks you, he said this, what you gonna do? I'll think of something. You know what I mean? Don't give nobody any information. Oh, he said he'll think of something. He said he'll think of something. They ain't really got nothing to say. They say, he said he'll think of something. You know what I mean? But if you want to play it even tighter, just be like, you know what, bro? I don't even care. Pretend like you don't care. Even if you do. Like, bro, I don't care. And if you really do care, that's when you start plotting and planning your course of action. Okay, this person got to apply with me. All right, sure enough. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you to go over there and try to hurt nobody or whatever. But if somebody's trying to hurt you, you got to do what you got to do. Plain and simple. But this, like I said, this is more so the mental aspect of dealing with opposition. You know what I mean? When you fight, you put yourself at risk. You put yourself in harm's way. You know what I mean? Not even if you're confident enough that you can beat this person, that's really irrelevant. Ultimately, you want to avoid conflict. You want to avoid conflict. Because you never know. There may be somebody there who don't want to see this person get beat up. You know what I mean? There may be somebody there who don't like either one of y'all and call the cops on y'all. You know what I mean? There's a million different things that could go wrong because you got into an altercation. So it's always best to avoid it. That's that. If you ever studied in martial arts, they teach you that. Ultimately, you want to avoid all conflict. We do this training so that we can prepare for conflicts that we couldn't avoid. That's what it's for. Or to defend or protect people that you love. You know what I mean? That's why you take up martial arts. You don't take up martial arts because you want to be a bully. You know what I mean? They'll kick you out. But anyway, back to the topic. I rambled a good little bit, but I still got a little bit more I want to say. Right? Going a little bit further with never interrupt your enemy. Right? Your enemy, you may not know who your enemy is. Sometimes enemies are a lot closer to us than we think. They could even be as close as family. Don't tell nobody I told you that, though. Keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself. You know what I mean? You can never be betrayed by somebody that you don't know. Or you're not emotionally invested in. You don't have any sentimental value to this person. You cannot be betrayed by somebody that's not close to you. Right? You can't be. So, in situations of betrayal, you don't gotta immediately seek revenge or retaliation. No. Instead, you can mentally torture them. You can kill them with kindness. That's a good one. You could pretend it don't bother you. And then surprise they ass. You know what I mean? You could even just go so far as to just disappear. This is the removing yourself from the situation aspect. Just disappear. Just vanish. Their own guilty conscience may eat away at them, and they may even seek you out to apologize to you. It can be that bad. Seriously. But always remember, at the end of the day, you're dealing with people. Sometimes people are in desperate situations and they do desperate things. You know what I mean? Sometimes people choose you as an enemy because they perceive you as a threat. Can you believe that? They perceive you as a threat. You don't even show up on their radar. You didn't even know this person existed. Right? But out of nowhere, you got a target on your back now. They coming with you with all the smoke. You like, where the hell is this coming? Who is this like? But again, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. Even if that mistake is choosing you as an opponent. Don't waste any of your information. Don't waste any of your moves. Don't waste your time worrying about how you're going to overcome this opposition. Wait for the mistakes. Wait for the mistakes. Or, like I said before, if you can, remove yourself from the situation. Don't even allow the opposition an opportunity to do anything to you. Their mistake was letting you know, be it direct or indirect, that they are opposition. Do with that information what you know is best. That's the first mistake of any enemy, is choosing you as an opponent. Because over here on this channel, we know who we are. And we know where we're going. And if you're confused about who I serve and who I speak for, who I share these messages to, in the hopes I'm reaching, you know what side you're on. And if you're still not sure, this probably ain't the channel for you. But that being said, whoever, whatever, wherever you come across an enemy, never interrupt them making a mistake. It may just be the difference in you coming out ahead or coming out alive. Who knows? With that being said, Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. Hope you're waking up every day with a plan, purpose, and a smile. And if you're not waking up with a plan, purpose, and a smile, hey, at least you're waking up. Let's expand, let's grow, and let's go. Till next time, guys. Class is dismissed.